Chapter 1. The Call of the Whispering Wood begins with the soft splash of morning light through the branches, dappling the workshop floor in a dance of shadows and shimmer. In the corner, under a dusty canvas, lies the skeletal frame of a wooden boat, each timber whispering tales of old voyages and dreams not yet fulfilled. The air is thick with the scent of oak and nostalgia. We meet our craftsman Elias, his hands weathered like the wood he cherishes, his eyes alight with a reflective passion. As Elias peels back the canvas, the air fills with a crunch of reawakening, a sound that reverberates through the quiet of the workshop. He runs his fingers along the grain, feeling each groove and fissure, speaking softly to the wood as if greeting an old friend after a long separation. The workshop becomes a sanctuary where each tool has its place. Each wood shaving tells a story. Elias selects a chisel, its handle smoothed by years of use, the blade honed to a whispering sharpness. As he works, he recalls the day the boat came into his life, a derelict shell on the verge of being forgotten, much like the memories it carries. Each stroke of the chisel not only restores what was, but uncovers what could be. Through the window, the lake outside mirrors his actions, the water gently coaxing the shore, reminding Elias of seasons past. With every shaving that falls to the floor, the boat becomes less of an object and more of a living archive, holding secrets of stormy nights and sunny days spent gliding across the lake's glassy surface. As twilight approaches, the sounds of the workshop, the rhythmic scraping, the soft thudding of wood, the steady breaths of an old man at work, meld into a lullaby of sorts. It's a sound that resonates deep within, a hypnotic cadence that invites the listener to close their eyes and drift, buoyed by the waves of story and the calm assurance of a craftsman, reviving the heart of wood and water. In the quiet refuge of twilight, Chapter 2 of our journey begins, threading through the gentle passage of time as the sun lowers its weary head behind a cascade of willows. Here, in the rumor of twilight, each sound seems magnified. A bird's call, the rustle of leaves, and the rhythmic scraping of the craftsman's plane as it slides over the aged wood of the boat, a lullaby to the setting sun. The craftsman, with hands weathered like the timber he caresses, moves with a deliberate grace that belies his years. Each stroke is laden with history, a tender remembrance of seas traversed and storms weathered. As the hull's curves begin to emerge anew, so too do the layers of the man's life unfold. His youthful summers spent by the lakeside, the feel of fresh sawdust, the songs his father hummed over the roar of a lathe. Each shaving of wood not only restores the boat, but also pieces back together forgotten fragments of his past. The craftsman's workshop is dimly lit, with shafts of fading light piercing through the dusty air, casting elongated shadows that dance gently across the hull. There is a palpable sense of serenity, a sacred communion between man, wood, and water. This boat, a relic brought back from the brink of oblivion, now shimmers with hints of its former glory, reflecting not just the golden hues of sunset, but the vibrant echoes of yesteryears. As the twilight deepens, so does the connection between the craftsman and his vessel. It is in these quiet moments that the craftsman not only rebuilds, but reminisces, not only sands away the rough edges of the wood, but also soothes the worn edges of his soul. The chapter closes with the boat, and the man slightly more whole than they were at dawn. The whispers of the twilight promising more stories to be told under the tender watch of the stars. In Chapter 3, Meeting the Moonlit Path, we delve deeper into the tranquil world of our elderly craftsman, whose hands are as seasoned as the wood he cherishes. Under the tender glow of the moon, a pivotal moment unfolds that blends past and present, each melding seamlessly like the waters kissing the shores. As twilight deepens, the craftsman decides to take the partially restored boat to the water, a ritual to sense its readiness and his connection to it. Gently, he slides the boat into the calm lake, the water whispering around the aged timbers, eager to reclaim its kin. The moon casts a silvery sheen across the surface, illuminating the boat in an ethereal light, its scars and curves stark against the liquid mirror. The craftsman steps into the boat, feeling its balance and buoyancy, reminiscing about the countless times he had sailed in his youth. His hands, weathered and wise, skim the water, sending ripples across the lake. Each ripple tells a story of storms braved, sunny days cherished, and quiet nights under the stars. These are the journeys that the boat had witnessed, and now they resonate within him, a symphonic blend of memory and wood. With each gentle push against the lucid waters, he feels the essence of the boat awakening, its spirit enlivening with his touch and the moon's blessing. Sitting there amidst the serene embrace of the night, the craftsman feels a profound connection, not just to his craft, but to the very elements that cradle his creation. The wood, the water, the whispering wind, and the watchful moon. It's a celestial path that he navigates, guided by the soft luminescence of moonlight, deep into the heart of memories, dreams, and the silent stories the boat holds. This chapter, like a lullaby, invites the listener to float along this moonlit path into a realm where reality softly blurs into dreams. In Chapter 4, titled The Stream of Serenity, we find ourselves wrapped in the tranquil embrace of the craftsman's workshop, accompanied by the soft patter of a gentle rain outside. The scene opens with the elderly artisan, his wiry frame bent tenderly over the aged hull of the wooden boat. Each motion of his weathered hands is deliberate, filled with reverence for both the vessel and the craft. The air is thick with the scent of fresh wood shavings and linseed oil, evocative of timeless forests and days spent under the open sky. As the craftsman's tools glide across the timber, stripping away years of neglect, he recalls the boat's storied history. Built by a fellow artisan many decades ago, the boat was once the pride of a small lakeside village, revered for its craftsmanship and beauty. The tale intertwines with the old man's memories, ones of youthful summers spent by the lake where he first learned the art that would define his lifetime. The soft, rhythmic scraping of the sandpaper against wood becomes a hypnotic melody, inviting the listener to delve deeper into the craftsman's mind. With each layer of old paint stripped away, a new layer of the man's past is unveiled. He shares tales of friendships forged over fishing lines and quiet afternoons spent in contemplation on the peaceful waters. The chapter slowly meanders, like the gentle flow of the stream by which the craftsman's workshop sits. It invites the reader or the listener into a state of calm introspection, akin to watching the sunset's golden hues dancing on the water's surface. As the chapter concludes, the boat begins to regain its former glory under the craftsman's careful hands, just as the memories and dreams of old are rekindled in his heart. The stream of serenity not only restores the boat, but revitalizes the soul of the man who once thought his best days had sailed away. Chapter 5, Encounters with Enchanted Echoes, begins with the gentle scrape of the elderly craftsman's plane across the broad side of the wooden boat. Each pass reveals more of the vessel's glorious, grainy past, echoing back to days filled with saline sprays and the laughter of seafarers. As the sun casts a golden glow over the workshop, tiny specks of dust dance in the beams of light, each a minute testament to the years that have built upon each other, like the rings within the aged timbers. The craftsman, whose hands are both steady and worn, pauses to touch a particularly gnarled piece of wood, feeling the rugged history beneath his fingertips. His mind drifts to a similar texture in his memories, where as a young boy he watched his grandfather build docks along the shoreline. With each memory, the boat seems to swell with life, its story intertwining with his, a shared journey of renewal. As he sands down the sides, smoothing the rough edges of both wood and past, the craftsman's thoughts are interlaced with whispers of the boat's own adventures, tales of storms braved and calm nights under starlit skies. The room fills with the sweet scent of sawdust and old stories, a fragrance that suggests not decay, but the promise of rebirth. It is here in this chapter we learn not just of the boat's history, but of the craftsman's, each a narrative of resilience and careful restoration. The craftsman applies a coat of varnish, and the boat gleams as if understanding it is nearly ready to return to the water. The chapter closes as the craftsman steps back, his eyes reflecting the restored beauty in front of him, and a soft sigh escapes his lips, a sound almost like the gentle lap of lake water against the newly restored hull. Chapter 6, Tales from the Treetops, opens with the soft rustling of leaves, a gentle reminder of the passage of time. We watch as our elderly craftsman, hands gnarled yet steady, ascends an old wooden ladder into the cradle of an ancient oak that overlooks the lake. Here, surrounded by whispering foliage, he finds the peaceful solitude necessary for his work. As his tools gently scrape away layers of time from the boat's wooden surface, each stroke is laden with reverence for the craft and a deep connection to the wood itself, which seems to hold its own secrets and stories. As the sun makes its journey across the sky, casting a warm golden glow through the treetops, the craftsman reminisces about his youth spent by this very lake. He recalls the joy of building his first boat, the pride in every nail driven and every plank smoothed. The narrative takes us deeper, echoing his thoughts on how the lake has changed, yet remained a constant friend, its waters always ready to cradle his creations. The scene shifts gently, much like the water lapping against the sides of the restored boat, to focus on the detailed intricacies of his current project. The camera pans slowly over the curves of the aged timbers, now glowing with health under his care. It's as if the boat is whispering back to him, sharing tales of storms braved and calm nights under the stars, of laughter and quiet conversations. Through this meditative restoration, we're not only given a glimpse into the past life of the boat, but also into the soul of the man reviving it. Each memory polished into the wood's grain is a testament to a life spent in love with the craft. The chapter closes with the craftsman applying the final coat of varnish, the setting sun turning the freshly polished wood into a mirror, reflecting the sleepy world around it. The camera fades out to the sound of evening birdsong, leaving us adrift in the serene embrace of nature and nostalgia, encouraging a peaceful drift into sleep. Chapter 7, Under the Stars' Soft Sway, begins on a serene evening by the lakeside. The air is filled with a tranquil silence, punctuated only by the occasional whisper of the wind through the trees and the soft lap of water against the shore. Under the vast expanse of the night sky, the elderly craftsman works by the light of a single lantern, his silhouette a calm, steady presence against the backdrop of the calm lake. Each movement he makes is deliberate, his hands seasoned with the wisdom of many years, gliding over the wooden boat's surface with a gentle precision that reverberates with tenderness. The timbers beneath his tools respond, slowly revealing the lustrous sheen of wood long hidden beneath layers of neglect. The boat, like a tired yet hopeful soul, begins to gleam under the stars' soft sway. As he sands down the old wood, the craftsman's mind wanders through the corridors of his past, each memory echoing the rhythmic strokes of his work. He recalls his youth, the first time he ever touched wood with intent to mold and mend. The fleet boats that graced the very same lake waters, now entrusted to his care. Whispered into the night are his quiet reflections on time's relentless march and the delicate dances of fate that led him here, to this act of restoration under the night's watchful eyes. Nearby, the restored boat sways gently, tethered to the dock, each movement a soft sigh, a breath of life renewed. As the chapter draws to a close, the craftsman steps back, his eyes reflecting the starlit sky, his hand resting affectionately on the boat's freshly polished side. A sense of accomplishment fills the air, harmonizing with the natural orchestra of the night. The waves whisper promises of journeys yet to come, of serene travels across the moonlit waters, and the craftsman closes his eyes, allowing the peacefulness of the scene to fill him, swaying slightly, as if rocked by the gentle, unseen waves himself. Chapter 8. A symphony of shadows unfolds as twilight descends on the sleepy lake shore where our elderly craftsman, Solomon, continues his delicate work. The fading light casts long, dancing shadows across the warped wooden planks of the boat that is both his charge and his confidant. Solomon's movements are slow and deliberate, each slide of sandpaper over the rough surfaces a tender whisper in the quiet of the coming night. The creaking sounds of the wood under his touch mix with the soft hush of the lapping water, crafting a lullaby of solitude. As he smooths a particularly stubborn splinter, his mind drifts to memories carried by the boat through decades. He recalls tales once told by his father, of stormy nights and tranquil mornings on waters near and far. In his careful restoration, Solomon is not merely repairing a boat, he is resurrecting history, piecing together stories of fishermen and families whose lives pulsed along with the flow of these very waters. The chapter progresses at the rhythm of Solomon's heartbeat, steady and comforting. The vision of the boat slowly emerging from its shroud of neglect, vibrant in its rebirth, mirrors in a sense Solomon's own rejuvenation. With each restored board, he feels a year of his own age lift from his shoulders, replaced by a weightless joy. Lights from neighboring cottages begin to twinkle on, golden eyes opening to the night. The air is filled with the blend of fresh lacquer and moist earth, a fragrance potent with potential. As shadows merge into the darkness, the symphony of evening grows, the occasional call of a night bird, a distant laughter of children, the perpetual serenade of the water against the shore. This tranquil, hypnotic world invites the listener to pause, to breathe in the damp, wooded scent, and let the slow, gentle waves of narrative and nostalgia guide them into a serene reverie or deep, dreamless sleep. Chapter 9. Dawn's delicate silence opens with the first whispers of morning light seeping through the workshop windows, dust motes dancing in the golden beams. The elderly craftsman, his hands lined with the stories of decades, stands in contemplative silence, observing the sleek lines of the wooden boat that rests before him. Each curve and edge, a testament to both the vessel's history and his own meticulous labor. As the dawn grows bolder, its light caresses the aged timbers, now revived under his care. The air is thick with the scent of freshly worked wood and the faint, lingering aroma of varnish. In these early hours, the world outside is hushed, the usual clatter of daily life not yet begun, allowing the soft rhythmic sounds of the craftsman's tools to fill the space. The scrape of a plane, the gentle tap of a mallet, the sigh of sandpaper on wood. In this chapter, the narrative dives deeper into the memories encapsulated within the boat's structure. Each plank holds echoes of laughter and whispers of hushed conversations over still waters. The craftsman's movements are slow, reverent, as if through his hands. He's able to reach back and touch these moments, blending his story with the vessel's. The restoration is near completion, the boat almost ready to meet the water once again. It's a poignant parallel to the craftsman's own journey, nearing the twilight of his career, yet still pulsing with the passion of his craft. The chapter closes as he steps back, his eyes tracing the contours of the restored boat, a soft smile playing upon his lips. The silence of the dawn breaks gently as the sounds of the waking world begin to stir, mirroring the awakening of the boat, ready to create new memories upon the serene embrace of the lake. This chapter, rich in reflective pauses and soft descriptions, encourages the listener to drift into the peaceful embrace of the narrative, like a boat ebbing gently on calm waters at dawn. In Chapter 10, The Journey's Gentle Close, we reach the serene conclusion of our time with the elderly craftsman, a chapter as tranquil as a still lake at dawn. The golden hues of early morning light spill through the workshop windows, casting long, gentle shadows over the now restored wooden boat. The craftsman applies the final coat of varnish, his movements deliberate and tender, each brushstroke a careful whisper, sealing the wood from time and elements. Here in the silence, broken only by the soft stirring of the brush, the observer feels a palpable sense of reverence, a ceremony honoring both the boat and the artisan's lifetime of skill. The craftsman steps back, his eyes gleaming with a soft satisfaction that comes from the culmination of a deeply personal journey. The boat, a mosaic of history and memories, now carries the essence of the many waters it had once split, as well as the lifetime of a man who found solace and reflection in its restoration. The scene shifts to the boat's gentle launch into the lake, its hull caressing the calm waters. As it floats, the gentle lap of lake water against the restored wood sings a lullaby of closure and new beginnings. The craftsman watches from the shore, his figure framed by the rising sun, his face unreadable, yet filled with quiet contemplation. Memories flicker across the water, a youthful smile, a determined furrow of the brow, decades of learning the language of wood and wave. As the boat drifts further away, it seems to carry with it the weight of the old man's past and the peace of his present. The chapter closes as day fully breaks, the sunlight now a resolute stream, and the boat a mere silhouette against the illuminated water. The craftsman turns away, his journey with the boat complete, his heart echoing with the soft goodbye of wood parting water, his spirit as light as the morning breeze.